Hi everybody, I'm JT. Welcome to another video from me here at Campervan Journey. I'm just on my way back from the boulangerie. So it is Wednesday morning. We have been in Meursault for 3 nights and we're just having some breakfast before we pack up and head off to our next stop,
Salat,
which is going to be Sarlat in the Dordogne. So probably take us about an hour or so to take the tent down, pack everything into the van, and then we'll be driving across France. Probably take about 4.5 hours to get to our next campsite, hopefully early afternoon. Slight hiccup this morning when we wandered into Meursault to go and get our breakfast, and we found that the boulangerie was closed, which was a bit surprising, but we managed to cobble together some breakfast from other bits. But despite my assumption that boulangeries are always open in France,
turns out that they're not.
in Meursault on a Wednesday they're not. So anyway, we managed to get some breakfast in. So we shall head off, get packed, and see you when we arrive in Sarlat later on. Bye. Thank you. So our journey across from east to southwest France took us right across the lower lands of the eastern side, across the Puy-de-Dôme mountain range in central France, and dropping down as we came into southwest France into the Périgord region and the Dordogne area where we are now. What's quite remarkable is as you go from one side of the country to the other is the real change in the landscape as you're travelling. It's very different locations. I know in the UK you get that, but it seems to be more dramatic here, and you can be to completely different parts of the country and it feels and looks completely different. But the highest point that we were travelling yesterday through the Puy-de-Dôme volcano range was actually as high as some of the places that we've stayed at in the Alps at over 1,000, or in the region of 1,000 metres up, which is quite remarkable really when you think about it, because it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel as mountainous, but the altitude is pretty much the same, if not slightly higher than when we stayed at Bourg-Saint-Maurice in the French Alps. So having crossed the Puy-de-Dôme, we then dropped down the other side and wound our way through some really narrow, twisty roads through the as we approached through Corrèze and the Dordogne area as we approached Salat to arrive at the campsite here. But had a good trip. Traffic was good, and but a long trip. So 5.5 hours roughly, including a short break. But we're all set up now and ready to enjoy the next stage of our trip, which is 5 nights here in Sarlat. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning on the 4th day of our trip. It's our first morning in Sarlat, and I'm just heading out to find a boulangerie to get some bread and pain au chocolat for breakfast. So this is my walk to the bakery from our site here in Sarlat. Beautiful road, beautiful countryside. What the view doesn't show you, or the camera view doesn't show you, is how steep it is. So working up a sweat will definitely have earned my pain au chocolat. So Dordogne countryside is absolutely beautiful. All the properties in the honey coloured stone. It's really steep and undulating as well, so when you're walking anywhere or cycling, it's a pretty good workout. The climate in this region of France really lends itself to walnut groves. You'll see lots of them clustered as you drive around. So there we are, I've just walked the 2 kilometres from the campsite. The boulangerie is just behind me, and if I turn the camera around, you'll see what an amazing view. So it's definitely worth the walk. So at the top of the hill, after walking from the campsite to the boulangerie, a wonderful panorama across the Dordogne countryside. Little bakeries in little hut just over there, really busy, traffic coming and going, so it can only be a good sign. So this morning we've taken a drive out to Roc Jejak, about 20 kilometres from Salat. Beautiful Dordogne village alongside the river with all the honey-coloured houses, some of them carved out of the rock faces themselves and right overlooking the river. The river is beautiful, really clear. Busy little town because it's really touristy, but we've just taken a hike up through the woods behind the town, up to the top, nice and cool through the woodland, and seen some absolutely stunning local houses as we've walked up. That's going to head back down and enjoy the rest of our visit. Are you enjoying your woodland walk?
In my flip-flops.
Oh, I thought you changed.
No.
Oh.
I was only expecting to walk along the river.
Yeah.
And looking at boutiques.
And yet we're trekking up a woodland trail. These ancient towns in Dordogne really are beautiful. Some amazing geology, and in the distance 2 more chateaux further down the valley. Certainly see why so many people choose to come on holiday here, and so many Brits choose to make their home here. Very appealing idea, I have to say. So after 2 weeks driving around France, we finally arrived back home. Hopefully you can see the chateau right behind me. If only. So we've taken a walk into Sarlat this morning. It's market day. We're going to go and have a look around. The streets are mixed with boutiques and independent traders. So at the moment it's obligatory to wear masks in Sarlat, in boutiques and independent traders, tourists and locals alike. Claire loves all these little specialist shops. Given half the chance, she'd spend a day here on her own browsing. Melons, peppers, tomatoes, all sorts. As you'd expect from a place as popular as Sarlat, it's really, really busy. It's Saturday, market day. You really get to feel the buzz of the community. It's one of the things we like when we come to these places, just try and experience the local market. Normally it's all over by lunchtime, but in Sarlat the market's on all day on a Saturday, and there's a covered hall as well. The other market's got these amazing massive doors, really, really high. It must be 20 metres tall. Let's go and see what they've got to offer inside. Sarlat's full of these tiny little quaint narrow streets, all the cobbled floors and tall walls, but real harks back to the medieval history of the town. It's you can see why it's so popular. It's absolutely beautiful. Around every corner there's a surprise. Really enjoyed our visit to Sarlat, to the market today. Glorious weather has helped as well. It's 30 degrees and a real bustling feel to this southern French town, but you can see why it's so popular with so many people. Which one was that one?
This is the set. Yes, really nice.
C'est bon, we'll have one of those.
One
One of those.
please.
And which was the one with the boar in?
This is the wild boar.
Wild boar, this one.
Yes. Could we try the one with the rat?
Tasty? It's more subtle, that one, isn't it? I don't eat juice, and they're all nice.
They're all nice.
Yeah. Merci. Merci, au revoir. Bonne journée.
Saucisson are in my hand.
Your saucisson up. So we almost made it out of Sarlat. We're passing all the gift shops. I knew that the lure of local craft would be too strong for Claire to resist. But they are beautiful and will sound lovely in our garden, and we can sit, enjoy a glass of wine when we get back and remember a lovely holiday here in Sarlat. So remember, if you've enjoyed this video of our few days in and around Sarlat, please remember to click the button to like and subscribe, and join us next stage of our trip around France very, very soon. Thanks for watching.